In the previous video, I talked to you about the ideal bank account structure. In this video, I want to take you through what it should look like if you are a home owner, because there's a couple of very specific accounts that can make all the difference to this structure, and I want to introduce you to those today. So, if we have a look here, here is the bank account structure that I recommended to you in the previous video. I talked to you about having a savings account, a central account, and an everyday account. If you are a home owner, then what you need to be looking for when you speak to the banks is you need to be looking for an offset account. So with your savings, you just want a standard offset, and with your central account, you want an everyday offset. Now you may be asking me, okay, what's an offset account? Well, here's what an offset account is. Let's just say I have a loan for $100,000, a home loan. Now, I know you're probably thinking, gee, I wish my home loan was only $100,000, but I'm doing this for the maths to make it really easy for me. Let's just say your home loan is $100,000. So you're paying $5,000 at 5% interest, you're paying $5,000 interest per year. What an offset account does is it's a separate bank account that sits alongside your home loan. And any money you have sitting in that account, so I've got $10,000 sitting here in this offset account, is considered by the bank to be off your mortgage. So what that means is instead of charging you interest on $100,000, because I have $10,000 sitting in this offset account, I actually only pay interest on $90,000. So I hope you get that. I was paying it on $100,000, but because I've got $10,000 in here, the bank is basically considering this together and saying, well, that $10,000 is actually paid off the $100,000, and therefore we're only going to charge you interest on $90,000. Now, what this then does is your interest on $90,000 is only $4,500, which means that you've just saved yourself $500 in interest. Now this is powerful because when you think about it, right now, the best you can get in a bank account is about 2 to 3% interest return. Here, we are saving ourselves 5%, which is almost double what we could earn ourselves in a bank account that's earning interest. And the better thing yet is, because you've actually saved yourself $500, not earned it, you don't pay any tax on it. Whereas if you had it in a bank account, a high interest savings account, earning you some money, you would not only earn less interest, but you would have to pay tax on it as well. So where possible, you want to try and set up these bank accounts here to be offset accounts, which means you are going to save money on your mortgage. Now, there are two types of offset accounts going around at the moment in the major banks. The first one is just a standard offset account, which pretty much was a no-frills account, which means that you can't be transferring money out of it or periodical payments or anything like that. It just was you would transfer money from your central account up into your savings account or savings offset account, and it would sit there, and the only way to get it out was to transfer it back down into your central account, which is fine if you're using this as a savings account, which is what I recommend you do. The other type of offset account is what's called an everyday offset account. An everyday offset account typically has all the bells and whistles that you need for a central account. In other words, it allows you to do periodical payments, transfers, B-pays, and so on from this everyday offset account. So while you've got all the money sitting in there ready to pay your future expenses, you're actually saving money on your mortgage, and that's really powerful. So there you go. If you own a home, so I'm sorry, this only applies to homeowners. The banks, you don't need an offset account if you don't have a loan. But if you're a homeowner, you've got a loan, speak to your bank about having offset accounts. And in some cases, they'll actually allow you multiple offset accounts, and it may even be that you can squeeze in an offset account as your everyday spending as well. If you can do that, fantastic, do it. If the only one that you can get is an everyday offset, then get that one as your central account. But where possible, take advantage of it. And just one last thing before I leave you, and this is a real soapbox for me, the banks will try and tell you that an offset account is exactly the same as a redraw facility, and therefore you should just take a redraw facility. The banks are wrong. Okay, the banks tell you that because they want you to be accessing the equity in your home loan, which means it takes you an awful lot longer to pay off your home loan. Please do not give in to them. Say to them, I want an offset account, I don't want a redraw facility. I'm happy to speak to you in more detail about that if you want to email me, but that's a real soapbox issue for me. Psychologically, there is a huge difference between an offset account and a redraw facility. Mathematically, yes, pretty much the same, but I can tell you there is a big difference. So there you go. That's the structure I recommend if you have a home loan.